I smooth the linen tablecloth across my dining table, tugging at the corners until they hang in perfect balance. The flowers finish the illusion. This one-bedroom apartment, with its tasteful yet detached decor, serves its purpose. A stage for my mother's occasional visits. Nothing beyond that, my phone buzzes. Adrienne's name flashes on the screen, warmth rising in me. I answer with a smile in my voice. Hey, I'm just wrapping up here. I should be there in about an hour. Adrienne's breathing sounds uneven, hurried. Nicole, we have a problem. His voice drops to a whisper. Oliver just called your mother. The vase slips from my hands, shattering on the floor. Water seeps into my socks as shards of crystal scatter across the hardwood. My heart pounds, a bird trapped inside my chest. What? My voice is tight, strained. I was in the bathroom. He found your phone and scrolled to Grandma Vivian. They spoke for nearly 10 minutes before I caught him. 6 years of careful separation flashed before me. 6 years of separate addresses, separate lives. 6 years of excuses for why Adrienne never came to holiday dinners in Connecticut. Why I never brought friends home. All of it unraveled by a curious 5-year-old who couldn't understand why his grandmother existed in my phone but nowhere else in his world. What did he tell her? My voice steadies as shock turns into calculation. Please tell me he didn't mention our house. I don't know. When I found him, he was talking about dinosaurs and his new tutu. I grabbed the phone, but she had already hung up. I call my mother immediately, straight to voicemail. The knot in my stomach is familiar. The same one from college when she dismantled my relationship with James. The weekly doubts about his ambition. The surprise visits. Subtle remarks about family expectations until he left. Believing he wasn't enough. Meeting Adrienne had been different. At the museum fundraiser, between silent auction tables and champagne fountains, he looked at me with genuine interest. Right then, I decided my mother would never come near him. I built walls around the life we started. 6 years of hiding, I whisper. Gone in a 10-minute call. I hang up with Adrienne and dial Rebecca, the only one at work who knows the truth. She answers quickly. Rebecca, I need you to go to my real house and warn Adrienne. My mother might be heading there. I pace as glass crunches underfoot. Nicole, slow down. What happened? Oliver called her. She knows about him now. Maybe about Adrienne, too. I need you to check on them. I'll be there soon, Rebecca's tone shifts. Nicole, your mother called the office about 20 minutes ago. She asked for your address. Said it was a family emergency. The room spins. Everything I've built, the careful distance between past and present, now hangs by a thread. Vivian Harrington has resources, influence, and years of practice bending life to her design. And now she has information, I murmur. Did you give it to her? Of course not. I told her I'd check with you first. She pauses. Nicole, maybe it's time to stop running. I end the call without answering. Grab my purse and leave the shattered vase behind. The drive to my real home, the blue-doored craftsman Adrienne restored last summer, takes 20 minutes that feel like 20 hours. Each mile, I rehearse defenses, explanations, anything to hold on to control as it slips away. When I pull into the driveway, Adrienne is already in the doorway, Oliver at his side. Our son wears his dinosaur shirt with a bright green tutu, curls wild in every direction. Adrienne's face is tight with concern, an expression I rarely see. He's been asking when Grandma Vivian is coming. Adrienne says quietly. He wants to show her his room. Oliver bounces on his toes. Is she here? Is she here now? I told her about my dinosaurs, my tutu, my big boy bed. I kneel, smoothing his messy hair. Not yet, buddy, but she might come soon. Adrienne and I exchange a glance heavy with unspoken understanding. This is our home, the place we've built beyond my mother's criticism. I face a choice. Keep hiding or stand firm. Whatever happens, Adrienne says, taking my hand, we'll face it together. This is our home, I nod, calm spreading through me. Years of running. Maybe it's time to stop. The words barely leave my lips when the low hum of a luxury car cuts through the quiet street. A sleek black Mercedes glides into the driveway. Vivian Harrington steps out, heels striking the walkway like a metronome. Through the window, I see her pause, assessing everything. The brass porch light, the flower beds Adrienne planted last spring. Breathe, Adrienne whispers, his hand steadying mine. We'll handle this together. Oliver bounces again, unaware of the storm at our door. Is Grandma here now? Can I show her my room? I told her about my dinosaurs. The doorbell rings, a single chime that echoes through my chest like a warning bell. Adrian squeezes my hand once, then steps back, letting me face this moment alone. I open the door, meeting my mother's eyes directly for the first time in years, without the barrier of our carefully staged apartment between us. Nicole. Her voice holds no warmth, only precise diction and a hint of criticism. So, I've finally found you. She steps inside uninvited, her gaze scanning the hallway, taking in every detail. The family photos absent from holiday gatherings, the children's books piled on the bench, Oliver's small rain boots beside ours. Grandma! Oliver rushes forward. My chest tightens as Vivian stiffens, then awkwardly pats his head. Hello? Oliver, is it? Her eyes flick to me, accusation simmering in her expression. I had investigators searching the East Coast for years. I never thought you'd be hiding in such a modest neighborhood. The word falls from her mouth like something unpleasant. I guide her toward the living room where sunlight filters through the windows Adrian restored last summer. You've been keeping a husband and child from me. How long exactly? Her eyes lock onto the wedding photo on the mantel. 6 years of marriage? And the child looks about 5? His name is Oliver, I reply, finding strength in saying it aloud. Yes, Adrian and I have been married 6 years. Vivian's fingertips trail across our books, as though examining relics. And this Adrian, what does he do that required such secrecy? Adrian steps forward, calm despite his weekend clothes. I'm a software engineer at a nonprofit. I see. Her tone suggests she sees everything. My rejection of the corporate law career she mapped out, my choice of happiness over prestige. And you thought this needed hiding. You gave me reason, I say, remembering James, my college boyfriend, and how she dismantled us with constant calls, questioning his ambition until he left. Oliver tugs at my hand. Mommy, can I show Grandma my dinosaurs now? And my tutu? I swallow. In a minute, buddy. Vivian's brows rise. A tutu? For ballet class, Adrian explains evenly. He loves it. I see you've encouraged broad interests. Her judgment cloaked in neutral words. She surveys the room again. All these years, Nicole, hiding family photos, teaching a child not to mention his grandmother at school. I can imagine, her words sting. We had indeed told Oliver not to speak of her to teachers or friends. The weight of our secrecy feels heavier under her scrutiny. You've wasted your potential on this. Ordinary life, she continues, each word sharp. Your father would be disappointed. Something shifts in me. I see my home, our home, through her critical eyes. The restored woodwork Adrian crafted, Oliver's drawings framed proudly, the worn sofa where we read bedtime stories. For years, I had decorated that sterile apartment with designer pieces, flowers, and wine, hoping for her approval. It never came. You're wrong, I say firmly. Dad would have loved this place. He would have loved Adrian and Oliver. Her lips tighten. Mom, this is my home. My real home. With my family. A deep fear inside me gives way to steady ground. I'm not hiding anymore. Her eyes narrow. The Harrington name carries weight in Connecticut. What will the Foundation's board say when they learn my daughter has lived a double life? There it is, her true concern. Not my happiness, but her reputation. I don't care what they say, I answer, though part of me still does. This is the life I chose. Your father's trust fund was meant for a suitable life, not this, she gestures dismissively. I'll need to speak with the family attorney. The threat lingers, her willingness to use money as leverage. But I realize something vital. Dad's inheritance was never just money. It was freedom. Oliver re-enters, clutching a ragged teddy bear. He approaches cautiously, extending it. This is Mr. Beans. He helps me when I'm scared. You can hold him if you want. Something flickers across Vivian's face. Surprise, maybe even emotion. Before her mask returns, Adrian steps forward, steady. Mrs. Harrington, we've built a good life. Nicole does incredible work at her nonprofit. Oliver is thriving. You're welcome to be part of that, but on our terms. Vivian looks between Adrian, me, and Oliver, who still holds out his bear. I see I have much to consider, she says at last, ignoring the toy. And apparently, a grandson to meet. In that moment, I realize this isn't only my battle. Adrian stands firm beside me. Oliver offers connection in his innocent way. Even Rebecca had warned me, giving me time to prepare. I am not alone. For 6 years, secrecy felt like protection. Now I see how it restrained us. Adrian turning down promotions, Oliver unable to speak freely, my own career narrowed by lies. You're welcome to stay for dinner, I offer, not from obligation but strength. If you'd like to know who we really are, Vivian hesitates, calculating. Perhaps that would be informative, Oliver beams. I'll show you my dinosaurs after dinner, Grandma. I have 17 and a half. The half one got stepped on, but Dad fixed him. As he leads her into the kitchen, chattering away, I exchange a look with Adrian. This is only the beginning of a longer struggle, but for the first time I am not hiding. I stand in truth, in my home, with my family beside me. I wake before dawn, my thoughts still racing from yesterday's confrontation. The house is still, the only sound Adrian's steady breathing beside me. A plan begins to take shape as I quietly slip from bed. From the hallway closet, I pull out a dusty box of my father's papers, the same one I carried with me when I left Connecticut 6 years ago. I've avoided opening it, wary of the memories inside, but now I need proof. At the kitchen table, with faint morning light filtering through the windows, I sift through letters, photographs, and legal records. 3 cups of coffee later, my hand lands on a thick manila envelope labeled Trust Richard Harrington. Nicole? Adrian's voice startles me. He's in the doorway, hair tousled from sleep. I think I found something. My hands shake as I pull out the aged papers. He sits beside me, our shoulders brushing as we read through the legal text. Flipping pages faster until it's irrevocable, I whisper. Heart pounding. The trust my father created cannot be altered once funded. I glance at Adrian, laughter bubbling up despite myself. She's been bluffing for years. Adrian squeezes my hand. She has no control over you? None. A strange sensation washes over me. Power. The money has been mine. Free and clear since I turned 25 by 7 a.m. I reach for the phone without hesitation and dial a number I've known since childhood. Margaret? It's Nicole Harrington. Margaret Wheeler, my mother's lifelong friend, has always been warm and perceptive. Nicole? What a surprise, she replies, her voice carrying the calm rhythm of the Connecticut shore. Your mother said she found you. I bet she did, I say, pacing. What has she been telling people about me? Margaret hesitates. She often talks about your career, the foundation, the awards, but never your personal life, the realization hits me. My mother's reputation depends on my image of success, one she claims partial credit for. A marriage she disapproves of and a grandson she ignores would unravel that carefully built story. Thank you, Margaret. I may need your help. After hanging up, I turn to Adrian. Let's invite her here. For breakfast. An hour later, with Oliver still asleep upstairs, my mother arrives at 8 sharp. Polished in a tailored suit, she sits at our kitchen table. Expression controlled. Sunlight streams across the walls, catching family photos that speak of the life I built without her. I've read Dad's trust documents, I say, sliding them across. You have no authority over my inheritance. A flicker in her eyes tells me she's been bluffing all along. Her hand trembles before steadying. That was never my main concern, she claims, though her voice lacks conviction. I didn't hide because of shame, I continue evenly. I hid because I knew you'd try to tear down what I built, just as you did with James. Her lips tighten. I only wanted the best for you. No, you wanted what fit your vision. You harassed James, called his home every night, told his mother he wasn't worthy of me. You broke him. Adrian stays quiet by the counter, his presence steadying me. You have no financial control over me, I say firmly, and no authority over my choices or my son. For the first time, I see uncertainty in her eyes. The usually unshakable Vivian Harrington is speechless. The silence is broken by Oliver's small footsteps on the stairs. He bounds in, still in dinosaur pajamas. Good morning, everybody. Climbing into my lap, he looks at her curiously. Did you see my dinosaurs yet, Grandma Vivian? Before she answers, Adrian offers, More coffee, Vivian? His tone calm, almost cordial. She nods. Yes, thank you. My phone buzzes, Margaret's name. On speaker, her voice fills the room. Nicole, dear? Just checking if Vivian arrived safely. Everyone at the club was excited when she mentioned finding you. I catch my mother's eye. The timing is no coincidence. Yes, she's here, I reply. Would you like to speak with her? Handing over the phone, I watch a crack appear in her polished mask as she switches to her public voice. Margaret, yes, I'm with Nicole and… She glances at Oliver, who beams, my grandson. When she returns the phone, her composure has shifted. She studies Oliver as he chatters about dinosaurs, an unreadable emotion on her face. Perhaps, she says carefully, I could stay a little longer, to get to know Oliver. The words hang between us. A tentative olive branch, not surrender, but something close. I meet Adrian's eyes. He nods. Oliver would like that, I answer. We make pancakes on Sundays. As Oliver launches into why T-Rex pancakes taste better, I feel something I haven't in years regarding my mother. Possibility. 3 days later, after Sunday pancakes, I spread documents across the kitchen table. The pendant light pools over organized stacks, trust papers, family photos, my father's letters. It's nearly midnight. Upstairs, Oliver's nightlight glows faintly in the hall. You're still working, Adrian says, setting chamomile tea beside me. I nod, tracing a line in one of Dad's letters to Mom. He always said her biggest fear was losing social relevance. Right here, he wrote that her obsession with appearances hid a fear of being forgotten. Adrian sits across, scanning the table with methodical focus. So now we're analyzing her social weak spots? We have to, I reply. Money was her opening move. She'll find others. The victory over the trust feels distant. Strategy has taken its place. My mother didn't keep her status for 40 years without learning to recover from setbacks. Adrian pulls his laptop closer. I've been thinking about Oliver. If she's willing to use money, we need boundaries around him. I rub my temples. Agreed, we keep our message consistent. Grandma loves him but lives far away. No promises without our approval. He opens a new file. I've researched therapists who specialize in families like this, just in case. I reach across the table, squeezing his hand. 6 years ago, I chose secrecy to protect us. Now we're choosing preparation. It's different. There's something else, I say, sliding a letter from the bottom of the pile. Margaret called today. You remember, your mother's friend? The one who confirmed Vivian has been spreading lies about us in Connecticut? I nod. She's agreed to update me on Mom's social schedule, board meetings, charity events, the people she influences. Do you trust her? Adrian asks, his practical side already weighing the risks, more than before. She seemed genuinely surprised when I explained the full truth. She admitted she'd grown suspicious when Mom never shared photos from her supposed trips to Seattle. The kitchen clock ticks softly as we work, outlining the landscape of my mother's world, her charity boards, her country club circles, the social leverage she wields like a precise tool. This isn't about revenge. It's about understanding the ground we stand on. At 1 a.m, Adrian shuts his laptop. We should rest. Tomorrow we start planning Oliver's birthday party, the birthday party. Another choice to make. Do we invite my mother? Create new memories that include her? Or keep the separation that has defined our lives? 6 years of secrecy had a clarity that honesty doesn't. I'm thinking of inviting her to Oliver's birthday next month, I say, filing papers into folders. Not as a test, but as the first step toward whatever our new reality becomes. Adrian nods, thoughtful. If we're going to build something different, we need to start somewhere. I glance around our kitchen, the children's drawings on the fridge, the height marks on the doorframe, the life we've built apart from my mother's shadow. For the first time, I'm imagining more than survival, the possibility of connection without surrender. My phone buzzes with an email. At this hour, it must be work, maybe the donor report I've been waiting for. But when I check the screen, it's from my mother. The subject line, Connecticut Arts Foundation Annual Gala, June 15th. Inside is a formal invitation with a short personal note, time to introduce you properly to society. Adrian studies my expression. What is it? I set the phone down carefully, tension tightening my chest. She's changed tactics. Money pressure didn't work, so now she's using social leverage. She wants to showcase us in her world, on her terms. The event is 3 weeks after Oliver's party. She's still trying to control the story, Adrian notes. I nod, determination settling in. She's trying to pull me back into her orbit. But the thought doesn't scare me anymore. It only confirms what we've been preparing for. This isn't about one clash, it's a full renegotiation of boundaries. My mother remains a powerful force, but for the first time, I'm not running. I close the folders, stacking them neatly. Tomorrow brings more planning, more strategy. But tonight, I see clearly, the future isn't about escaping her influence. It's about reshaping it. 2 weeks later, after gathering evidence and legal backing to protect my family, I check my calendar again, though I already know every date by heart. 2 weeks until Oliver's dinosaur-themed party. 2 weeks to finalize our strategy. Our kitchen table has become a war room. Lists of guests, supplies, and above all, our structured plan for handling my mother. Adrian sits across from me, updating the shared document we've titled Family Preservation Plan. The dinosaur cake is confirmed, he says, typing, and I've cleared that week off work. No chance of last-minute crises. I nod, grateful for his steadiness. This is more than a birthday. It's about resetting our relationship with Vivian Harrington on our terms. Margaret called again this morning. I tell him she's been carefully dropping references to our life in Seattle within Connecticut's social circles, preparing the ground for when Mother finally acknowledges us. Adrian raises a brow. She's still helping? Margaret has watched my mother's games for years. She cared for my father. I tap my pen thoughtfully. I think she's finding satisfaction in balancing the scales. The sunlight spills through our windows, casting long lines over our plans. We've been meticulous. Oliver's birthday is more than a party. It's the stage for our stand. We're not just planning a celebration, I say softly. We're reshaping our relationship with my mother, once and for all. Adrian reaches across the table, squeezing my hand. His warmth grounds me, reminding me why this matters. The life we've built here, this house with its creaky floors and sunlit rooms, stands in sharp contrast to the polished emptiness of my childhood. It's worth defending. My phone buzzes again. Donna Taylor, Oliver's preschool director. A knot tightens in my stomach as I answer. Nicole, I hope I'm not disturbing you, she begins, her professional tone signaling trouble. I wanted to confirm something about your mother's calls. The room tilts slightly. My mother's calls? Yes, Mrs. Harrington phoned 3 times this week, asking about Oliver's schedule, teachers, even his friends' families. She claimed to be his grandmother, but since she's not listed as an authorized contact, I wanted to check first. My grip on the phone tightens until my knuckles ache. You didn't share anything, did you? Of course not. Our privacy rules are strict. After thanking her, I end the call and meet Adrian's concerned gaze. Vivian has been contacting Oliver's school, I say, hollow, asking about his routine, his friends, everything. Adrian's expression hardens. She's looking for ways around us, direct access to him. The realization lands like a physical blow. This isn't just about me and my mother anymore. She's trying to reach Oliver, perhaps to shape him as she once shaped me. The stakes are higher than ever. We need to broaden our strategy, I say, already flipping open my notebook. This isn't only about the party. She's investigating every corner of our lives. Adrian nods, grim. Do we confront her now? Expose the calls? I weigh it carefully. No. If we push now, she'll find another route. We stick to the plan, but build stronger walls around Oliver. For the next hour, we adjust. We call Oliver's school to reinforce security. We discreetly inform the parents of his closest friends, sharing only what's necessary. We even arrange for Margaret to attend the party as an extra safeguard. When we're done, I stand by the kitchen window, watching the small yard where Oliver's party will unfold. The swing set Adrian built last summer. The garden where Oliver helps me plant. Real life, not the curated version my mother parades. Everything's ready, Adrian says, stepping beside me. We're as prepared as we can be. The sunset paints the yard in golden light. A calm settles over me. 6 years of dual lives, all leading here. Oliver's birthday won't just celebrate him, it will declare our future. My mother believes she's been gathering intelligence, I whisper. But she has no idea what she's walking into. This birthday isn't just for Oliver, it's about our future. Adrian wraps his arm around me as we stand together, watching the last light fade across the garden. In 2 weeks, Vivian Harrington will arrive, expecting to extend her influence into the next generation. Instead, she'll face boundaries that have been built for 6 years, and a daughter finally ready to enforce them. On Oliver's birthday, 2 weeks later, I set up colorful balloons in our backyard, watching him race around in his dinosaur costume, cape trailing behind. His preschool friends laugh as they chase him through the obstacle course Adrian made from hula hoops and pool noodles. It's a perfect 5th birthday. Simple, joyful, real. He looks so happy, Adrian says, slipping his arm around my waist. You did such a wonderful job with everything. I lean into him, drawing strength for what lies ahead. Vivian already confirmed she's coming, said she has something special planned. The words leave a bitter taste. It's been 3 months since Oliver's innocent phone call shattered my carefully managed double life, and every exchange with my mother still feels like crossing a minefield. Adrian squeezes my shoulder. We're ready. Whatever happens, we'll face it together. The doorbell rings at exactly 2 o'clock. Vivian Harrington is never late. Punctuality to her is a weapon. I take a deep breath and walk through the living room toward the door, repeating the rules we set. No remarks on Oliver's looks, no criticism of our home, no talk of East Coast schools. When I open the door, my breath catches. Vivian stands there in a tailored cream suit, her silver hair immaculate. But she isn't alone. Beside her are my father's parents, grandparents I haven't seen in over 15 years. Nicole, darling, Vivian says with polished warmth. Look who I found. Your grandparents have been desperate to see you. My throat tightens. This was her real play. She couldn't control me through money once I uncovered the trust terms. She couldn't intimidate Adrian. So she's using the one tactic I can't easily dismiss. Family. Grandma Eleanor. Grandpa Joseph, I manage, my voice unsteady. My grandmother, small with soft white curls, steps forward, tears shining. Nicole, you look so much like Richard, she says, reaching for my face with age-spotted hands. We've missed so much of your life. Behind them, Vivian smiles with quiet satisfaction. Her eyes flick past me to our modest living room, already judging every detail. Please come in, I say, stepping aside. The party's in the backyard. My husband Adrian is out there with Oliver. Your grandparents have missed too much already, Vivian adds, her voice pitched to Carrie. And now to learn they have a great-grandson they've never met. Several parents glance over, their curiosity clear. My carefully separated worlds are colliding in public. My grandfather, still tall despite his years, looks around with real wonder. This reminds me of our first house, Eleanor. Remember the craftsman in Hartford? His genuine appreciation makes my eyes sting. These are my father's parents, people who loved him, who might have loved me too. Across the yard, Adrian notices the tension and comes over carrying Oliver. Who are they? Oliver whispers, clutching Adrian's shirt. That's your great-grandmother and great-grandfather, Adrian explains gently. Your grandpa Richard was their son. Oliver's eyes widen. From the pictures? The ones who live in heaven with the stars? My grandfather's face folds with emotion, and suddenly I see my father in him. Yes, sweetheart, I say softly. These are Grandpa Richard's parents. They came a long way to meet you, Adrian extends his hand. I'm Adrian Cole, Nicole's husband. It's wonderful to meet you. My grandmother clasps his hand warmly. You have a beautiful family. We had no idea, Vivian cuts in smoothly. I thought Oliver's birthday would be the perfect time for a family reunion. After all, family bonds are so important for a child's identity. Her tone drips with reasonableness, but I know her game. By bringing my grandparents, she set a trap. I can't push back without seeming cruel. To the other parents, it looks like a heartwarming reconciliation, not a carefully planned move. Mom, Oliver calls, racing over with a paper crown crooked on his head. Can I show great-grandma and great-grandpa my dinosaur collection? Before I answer, a familiar laugh rings out. Margaret Wheeler, my mother's oldest friend, walks over in a lavender pantsuit that complements her silver hair. Vivian, you didn't say you were bringing Eleanor and Joseph, she calls. What a wonderful surprise for everyone. For just a moment, Vivian's smile flickers. Margaret, I didn't expect you. Nicole invited me, Margaret replies with a wink at me. When she mentioned Oliver's birthday, I couldn't miss it. Relief floods me. Margaret's presence softens Vivian's control of the narrative. Someone else who knows our history is now watching. Oliver, I say. Kneeling to his level, why don't you show your great-grandparents your artwork on the fridge? The dinosaur family you drew last week? He nods seriously, taking my grandmother's hand. I made a whole dinosaur family. The baby is me. I watch them go inside, their faces glowing with wonder. For a moment, I see what could have been if I'd stood my ground years earlier instead of hiding. Adrian touches my elbow. I'll check the cake and activities. You've got this. The party continues, children laughing, parents chatting, balloons swaying in the breeze. But beneath the celebration, tension lingers. I feel Vivian's eyes on me, gauging if her plan is working. Half an hour later, Oliver returns, proudly wearing a vintage watch far too big for his wrist. Grandpa Joseph gave me his special watch, he announces. It belonged to Grandpa Richard when he was a boy. My grandfather nods, eyes wet. I've kept it all these years. It belongs with Richard's grandson. Vivian's smile tightens, barely noticeable. This genuine connection weakens her control. As the day shifts into evening, Adrian carries out the birthday cake, a homemade dinosaur design that took us 3 tries to perfect. The children gather close, faces bright with anticipation. Oliver sits at the head of the table, his crown slightly tilted, eyes glowing with excitement. The defining moment has come. What happens now will influence not just this birthday, but the future of our family ties. My chest tightens as I step forward to face my mother, Oliver's path balanced between us. Across the yard, Adrian meets my gaze with the faintest nod. Everything is ready. Weeks of careful planning, positioning, and subtle alliances have led to this point. Present time, Adrian calls, and children rush to the picnic table like a lively herd. Oliver remains at the head, his crown slipping over dark curls, eyes shining with anticipation. Parents gather nearby, phones raised to capture the joy. My grandparents inch closer, their expressions tender. Vivian rises, smoothing her linen trousers. Perhaps Oliver should open my gift first? Her voice carries easily, steady and polished, the skill of someone long trained at galas and boardrooms. Adrian glances at me and I nod. Better to confront her move directly. She hands Oliver a small package wrapped in heavy cream paper with a gold ribbon. Clearly, not a child's gift. Oliver tears it open eagerly, uncovering a plain envelope and a velvet box. What is it, Grandma? He asks, shaking the box. It's your future, darling, Vivian says, turning to address everyone. I've set up an educational trust for Oliver. It will cover tuition at Whitfield Academy and later Yale, just as his grandfather and mother once planned. The silence that follows is charged. Parents shift uncomfortably, sensing tension they cannot fully place. Open the box, sweetheart, Vivian encourages. Inside lies a gold key tied to a blue ribbon. A key? Oliver asks. It represents your future, she explains, smiling with pride. The best education on the East Coast, powerful connections, opportunities your current path may not provide. The moment stretches thin. Every past conversation, every limit I've set, every preparation condenses into this deliberate public move. She's reclaiming control of our family story before witnesses, making refusal look ungrateful. Adrian steps beside me, steady as always. Margaret positions herself near my grandparents, ready. Our plan falls naturally into place. I breathe deeply and step forward, calm now. Mom? My voice is firm. That's an incredibly generous offer. I place a hand on Oliver's shoulder, his small body vibrating with birthday excitement, oblivious to the battle at hand. We appreciate the thought. Vivian's smile tightens, eyes gleaming with triumph. But we must decline. Her expression falters. Oliver's future belongs to his parents. We're grateful for your care, but his college fund is already established. I glance at the other parents, catching understanding in their eyes. Oliver will attend schools that nurture his individuality, whether Yale or elsewhere. Vivian stiffens. Nicole, this isn't the time to... Actually, it's the perfect time. I reach under the table and pull out a long wrapped package. I have something for you, Mom. Surprise flashes across her face. True surprise, something I've never seen in 20 years. But it's Oliver's birthday. Her voice wavers. Sometimes we all need gifts. I hand her the package. Please, open it. Vivian unwraps carefully, revealing my father's antique brass telescope. Her hands stop on the polished surface, trembling. Richard's telescope, she whispers. Dad said it helped him look beyond the immediate, I say loud enough for all to hear. Maybe it can help you too. Murmurs ripple through the crowd. My grandparents lean closer, recognition softening their faces. There's more, I add. Margaret hands me a leather-bound journal, which I pass to Vivian. Dad's journals. I've kept them for years. But it's time you had them. Her hands shake as she accepts them, her calm mask breaking. Emotions seeping through. Richard wrote about his hopes for me. Not about prestige or status. but about genuine happiness. I meet her eyes. He wanted me to live a life that mattered to me, not Connecticut society. My grandmother rises, touching the telescope. Richard treasured this. He would sit for hours, showing Nicole the constellations. My grandfather adds, voice wavering. Our son never cared about titles. He cared about seeing clearly. The shift is visible. Parents remain quiet, respectful. Adrian stands tall, satisfied. Margaret's small nod confirms what I feel. The balance between my mother and me has changed. Vivian clutches the telescope, raw emotion crossing her face for the first time in my adult life. Nicole. Her voice trails, uncertain. Before I respond, Oliver jumps up. Can we have cake now? I want Grandma Vivian to have the first piece. His simple kindness breaks the tension. Laughter spreads. Adrian squeezes my shoulder. Of course, I say. Grandma should definitely have the first slice. Adrian brings out the dinosaur cake, but it feels like more than a birthday now. The candles glow on Vivian's face as she holds my father's telescope, her walls beginning to fall. Margaret leans close to her, speaking softly. Richard would be proud of the woman she's become. Perhaps it's time to be proud too. Vivian doesn't reply, but when Oliver tugs her hand, she lets him lead her to the seat of honor. The telescope rests in her lap as he points to the dinosaur cake with sticky fingers. I meet Adrian's eyes. 6 years of hiding, of living separate lives, all shifted in one afternoon. Boundaries remain, but they're no longer barriers, now foundations. My mother looks up, meeting my gaze over Oliver's head. The telescope gleams in the sunlight. For the first time since Dad's death, we see each other clearly, as we are, not as we wish. Happy birthday, darling, she says to Oliver, but her eyes stay on me. There's a question there, maybe an offer of connection. I nod, accepting whatever beginning this is. 3 months later, the telescope shines on our living room shelf. No more hiding, no staged apartments, only the life we've built. My phone buzzes. Mother calling. Once this would have filled me with panic. Now I answer with ease. Good afternoon, Mom. Nicole, I've been thinking about Thanksgiving. The Wheelers suggested their lake house, but perhaps we could gather at your home this year. I meet Adrian's eyes as he helps Oliver with a puzzle. I nod. We'd love to host. Oliver wants to show you his new tree fort. Wonderful. I'll bring Richard's maple custard. He always said Thanksgiving wasn't complete without it. After the call, Adrian joins me on the couch. That's progress, he says. I lean on him, watching Oliver arrange dinosaurs. Remember our first Thanksgiving? Frozen dinners because I told you I had to work, when really I was at my mother's estate pretending I had a trip the next day. And now we're hosting the family, Adrian says, kissing my temple. Including Vivian Harrington, I laugh, an easy sound now. Last month, I sold the staged apartment, its generic furniture gone. The proceeds went straight to Oliver's college fund. Fitting. Miss Jeffrey mentioned at pickup yesterday, Adrian adds. Oliver talks about Grandma Vivian all the time now. Apparently, he's been telling everyone about her telescope collection. A telescope collection? I smile. She owns exactly one, and it belonged to my father. Oliver has a knack for exaggeration. Must come from your side of the family. I nudge his arm lightly, half joking, though there's truth in his words. The Harringtons have always been good at shaping stories. The difference now is that our stories highlight reality instead of concealing it. At work, I've been mentoring Bethany, a young development coordinator whose mother tracks her accounts and questions each expense. Last week, over coffee, I shared my path from hiding to standing firm. The hardest part wasn't confronting my mother, I explained. It was admitting to myself that I had the right to create my own life without excuses. I do my life, I said. Bethany stared into her cup. But what if they cut you off? Then you build a network of people who care for you as you are, not as they wish you to be. The advice felt steady, earned. True family accepts who we are, not who they want us to become. My promotion to director of marketing came through last week. Before, I would have hidden it from Vivian, afraid she'd use it to lure me back to Connecticut. Instead, I phoned her directly. The director role? Well done, Nicole. Her approval still carries weight, I realized, but it no longer defines me. Months later, on Thanksgiving, the doorbell rang, pulling me from my thoughts. Oliver rushed to the window. Grandma's here. And early, he shouted, bouncing in a way that reminded me of Richard. My father would have cherished this lively grandson he never knew. Adrian squeezed my hand and went to open the door. No rushing to hide photos, no nervous texts. Just the calm certainty of living openly. Vivian stepped in with a rectangular silver-wrapped package. Her gaze swept the family room, the wedding photos in plain view, Oliver's drawings covering the fridge, the telescope catching the light. "You're early," I said, taking her coat. "I thought I might help with dinner," she replied, handing me the package. But first, this came from the foundation board. Inside was a framed certificate, the Richard Harrington Memorial Scholarship, created by Vivian and Nicole Harrington. The text described annual support for young people striving for independence, especially those under family pressure to follow fixed paths. "Your father would have liked this. At least," Vivian said, her voice carrying both confidence and hesitation. "Though he might have debated the name. It's perfect," I told her sincerely. "We'll place it right beside his telescope." Oliver ran over, hugging her legs. "Grandma, want to see my dinosaur village? The T-Rex is the dad, the Triceratops is the mom, and the baby Stegosaurus is adopted. But they all love him." Vivian bent down gracefully, still elegant in her cashmere and pearls. "I'd love to see your dinosaurs, Oliver." As they walked toward the play area, Adrian slipped his arm around my waist. "Nervous about dinner?" "Not anymore." I set the scholarship certificate on the mantel. The last time she surprised me, I dropped a vase and nearly panicked. Now I was simply glad Oliver had his grandmother, her real self, not the edited version I once presented. Through the window, I noticed the Sullivan family from across the street approaching with a pie. I had invited 3 neighborhood families to our Thanksgiving dinner, something unthinkable in my old, divided life. "Hiding doesn't protect what matters," I said. "Living openly does." Adrian kissed me quickly before opening the door. "Your dad would be proud." With the scholarship in Richard's name, his telescope reminding us of his vision, and his grandson building dinosaur families that celebrate differences, I knew Adrian was right. The Harrington legacy isn't about Connecticut society or curated appearances. It's about having the courage to live authentically, even when it's difficult. As I welcomed our neighbors into our true home, with my mother helping Oliver arrange his dinosaurs for maximum effect, I felt the last pieces of my hidden life fade away, replaced by something richer, a future free of secrets.